Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. Let's get this party started. It's a Bible reading party. Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. I cannot multitask. I cannot. I cannot. Turn my phone down. I caught myself going live on Facebook like the last 30 seconds because I usually just share it out. I usually hit the share button. But this time I was like, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to just let people know we all the way live. We all the way live. Yes, that is the face I am making. My sister was messaging me. Did you get out of work last night? Remember I told you I was going to work last night or this week? No. My place of employment, which will remain unnamed, they let us know at the last minute, like the essential personnel or the startup people, team leaders and whatnot were going back. So that's cool. I don't mind having a few extra days off. This is the first time I'm mentally prepared. I'm mentally ready to go back. Like, I guess reading the Bible or something maybe has been helping me out. But usually I would have been crying, like literally crying. The depression would have been back on me, the anxiety. But I've been pretty good. The only thing I'm mad about is, shoot, I didn't messed up my sleep schedule. So it's okay. I stayed up half the night, but still went to bed sort of kind of early, and here I am with the coffee. So the best part of waking up. How many people can finish that sentence? Finish it in the chat. I'll let that be an inside joke for the initiated. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, 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 Monday. It's Monday, Monday. Everybody, yo, it's Monday. The time is 7:17 a.m. It's May 18th already. So we got like what, 12 days? 12 days before the end of the month, and then it's June, baby. April showers bring May flowers, but here in Fort Worth, Texas, we've been getting a lot of rain, like a lot. I think it's been raining the last 3 or 4 days, which for us it's a lot. But yeah, it is Monday morning. The time is now 7:18 a.m. and it is time for me to do roll call. Roll call. I really, really, really need this coffee today. Cause I mean I'm thrown off. Anybody who's ever worked a midnight job or a graveyard shift knows that working overnight, staying up overnight, even when you sleep during the day, it throws you off. It really throws you off, and so I'm a little thrown off. That's me. Hey, I'm the early bird in the room. It said it's Monday, 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 and I even got the little bird. That was not meant to be early bird. It was meant to be like cheep, cheep, cheep. I'm a new chick because it's a new day. But I guess I could be the early bird too. I didn't think about it that way. Subconsciously, I was thinking it. Eva Frazier is the real early bird in the room. She says, "Good morning, everyone." She says, "I hit the like button." Nicole says, "Good morning, 40 fam." She says, "Bless the like button." Yes, bless it, bless it. We need all the blessings we can get. Bless the like button, bless the like button. Just going up and bless it, bless it, bless it. I wish everyone a blessed day. That's what Eva Frazier says. Then Todd and Cooking Mama's Homestead came in and said, "Good morning." I could never say it the way she says it, but I love your accent. I know you're like, honey, we don't have the accent. Y'all have the accent. But it's okay. I still love her accent. If y'all want to know what I'm talking about, you got to go to her channel. It's a main thing. Let's see. Destiny Forever Walks is in the house. Says, "Grand Rising Kenya, how are you today?" Well, if you want me to answer honestly, I'm tired. I'm ready to go back to bed. But no, I'm actually okay. I'm okay. Sending my prayers your way. Have the most extraordinary day that you'll never have experienced in your life. The best day like today, like there won't be a tomorrow. Golly! For real though. That's what I'm trying to have. That's what I'm that who doesn't want to have that kind of day? That's what I want to have. Yes, I like that. Girl, matter of fact, I'm a screenshot that. Not a screen well, I don't have screenshot, but I got a little snippy do. What do you call it? What do you call it? Snipping tool. Girl, I'ma snip that. I'ma snip it and then I'ma whip it. Look, keep it off to the side. I like that. That sounds like something Tony Robbins would say, but in a less gravelly, manly voice, cause that man's voice booms. Boom, baby. We got that boom with that Cadillac. Got that bass. Bass, you know that Cadillac. Got that boom, boom in it, in it. Destiny forever walks. Quote. When I move to do something, I do it because I want to do it. So I'm not gonna do anything with it, like post it. I might post it. Maybe I should post it. I won't post it. I won't post it. I might rephrase it though. I might rephrase it, but I'll give you credit. I'll be like, like most quotes, and they put the little name under it because I like that. I don't know why, but I really like that. I really like that. Okay, I've saved it. I got my little snipping tool. I'm gonna put it over here to the side, and I'm gonna get back to the roll call because there are more people in the room. Like Erica Benet Vlog says, I got a commercial and watched it. Gee, thanks. Hey, thank you. Good morning, everyone. And she gave a heart. Chuan Chan Phu Vignon says something in Vietnamese that I don't understand. But you know what? We're living in a digital age. I ain't got to, but I want to. I'm going to translate it. I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to go down the line. I'm going down the line, So I can say hello to everybody else, such as Destiny Forever Walks, who says, to Eva Frazier, grand day to you. Miss Tina from Crafts by the Rose says, good morning. I already gave you a thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hello, everyone in the room. Sometimes my finger makes it scroll too fast. Yep, I scrolled past a lot. And I just okay, there we go. What's your favorite part of the chat so far? Note to self. For real. Note to self. I gotta reprogram Nightbot because it's coming on too early. Like, we're not talking about anything. Unless y'all was talking about something without me. But Nightbot says, what's your favorite part of the chat so far? Do you have any questions? No, Nightbot, we don't. Reprogram Nightbot. I gotta remember that. Reprogram Nightbot. Crafts by Rose said something and then she took it back. Destiny Forever Walk says, it's Folgers in your cup. And she said it just like that. Ding, 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 ding. You're right. You're right. You're absolutely right. And hold on. Boom, boom, dun, dun, dun. Sometimes this is so slow. Dun, 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 dun. And do that, and that, and that. Come on. You can do it. I believe in you. I believe in you, laptop. You can do it. Come on. Give it the old go. Come on, laptop. You can do it. Good job. I'm so happy. Good job. Okay, so yes, for for winning the pop quiz of the day, you get a cup of coffee because that's what we're talking about, coffee. Let's see. Nicole says it's raining here too. Erica Benet Vlog says Indiana has been raining too. Okay, so it's just kind of like a big giant cloud over everybody. Interesting. Miss Tina from Craft by the Rose says the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. I love Folgers coffee too. Actually, today's live stream is brought to you by Bustelo, Cafe Bustelo. You will never hear that commercial because it's a song that I made up. But the coffee is called Bustelo. It's in a yellow container, yellow tin. I guess it's a Spanish brand. I don't know where it's from exactly, but it's Bustelo, a yellow can with some old-fashioned black and white picture on the front and some triangles or something weird, but Bustelo, Cafe Bustelo. It sounds like something that you would hear on TV, right? It's not. It's whatever. Let's see. Good morning. That's Nicole to Destiny. Good morning, everyone. I almost missed out. I'm still missing out. I'm still listening to the ads. You know what? I appreciate it, even if y'all don't listen to them all the way, which I hope you do. But even if you don't listen to them all the way, whatever amount of time that you do listen, I appreciate it because I do realize there's some long ones in there, and I'm not in control of that. I don't know why they put them back to back to back like that. I I don't know. I'm used to just getting like maybe 30-second ones, maybe a minute one, but somebody told me, yeah, there's a really long one on there. I don't like that. Cuz I don't want to be yes, I'm doing this as part of my multiple income stream, but I don't ever want to be a nuisance to anybody. So I don't like all that long stuff. Now, if I have a 30-minute video, okay, that's one thing. But I don't want you guys to be distracted. But if you stay for it, I appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. So thank you. Um, and that's another reason why I kind of was thinking ahead of time. That's another reason why I have it like 15 minutes. Sometimes I want to come straight on here and I'm ready, but I said, you know what? If the ads are gonna play, let them play while people are waiting, and then get a chance to get settled in. So I'm trying to balance it out and do it so that it's convenient for you guys as well as being a little profitable for me. It's a balance. Everything's a balance. I just saw your live Facebook. Yeah, I was trying to put the word out instead of sharing myself. I just said, "Hey y'all, I'm going live." Let's see. Destiny Forever Walk says the best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Turn it up, drink it up. That coffee, yes. It's Bustelo. I'm gonna type it for you. It's Bustelo cafe, and it has English on one side of the can and Spanish on the other side of the can. It's Cafe Bustelo. And it's really good. It's really good. It's strong without being bitter. I like it. Bustelo. Oh, hold on. Yeah. I take that back. Now that I tasted it, it's a flavored pod. It's supposed to be creme brulee, something from Target. I don't think it's a Target brand. I think it's just like some off-brand Keurig, whatever. The little coffee making machine, the little Keurig. And I didn't put a whole lot of sugar in it because I've been trying to watch my sugar. But excuse me, but it's not good. Cafe Bustelo's good. The flavored ones, not so good. The clouds are beautiful. Okay, that's right. That's right. That's what you said last time. Talking about Tron. I know that there's a Tuan. It's kind of like a T sound, but kind of a ch sound. So it's like Tron. I think it's Tron. I'm going to give a quick message to my Vietnamese speaking friend here. I'm going to say thank you very much and welcome. Again, I don't have to do this, but sometimes it's little things that make people feel welcome. It's little things that make people feel accepted. It's little things that make people feel included. It's little things that make people, maybe put a smile on somebody's face. For all I know, Tron, because it's like the little wiggly part goes up and down, and then that part goes up and down. Chun, no, Chun, Fui, Buignon. I think. Vietnamese is such a beautiful language. It's like I like languages in general. I do. Because each language has just a different melody, a different sound. And it's pretty cool. There we go. Do it like that. Don't do it like that. Do it like this. That's Prince from the Diamonds and Pearls album. The song is called Thunder. I have a lot of random music going on in my head. Bam! And that's another reason why I don't listen to the radio, but I have a video on that so you guys can go watch it. I need to get this Bible party started because I'm going on. I'm going on and on and on and on. Can you keep going like a Rolling Stone? But does she mean like the Rolling Stones, the rock group, or like Papa was a Rolling Stone, or like a random stone rolling down the hill? I've always wondered about that. Today we are reading 1 Samuel 16 through 18. Let me know what you guys think about my particular seating today. When I watch some live streamers, they're kind of sitting back chilling. Some are up close and personal, like my buddy Scully. He actually Scully for 16 with Scully is a guy. I think he's from Louisiana by the accent. Scully is a guy, one of my YouTube buddies, and he reads just like I do. But he reads his own publications. He's an author, and he writes books, he reads them to you, and tells you how to he tells you how to write your own book. And my boy Scully, this I'm gonna do a Scully impersonation. If he ever come on here, I'm sorry, Scully, but you know I love you. Our YouTube love you. This is Scully, y'all. Hey y'all, I'm about to read my book to you, and then afterwards I'm gonna show you how to read a book. He'll be like right there. Scully, I can smell your breath. You so close, but it smells nice. It smells nice. It smells like Cafe Bustelo. All right, this is chapter 16, 17, and 18. And you guys can check him out if you're into that kind of thing. If you like being read to, like I'm reading, he reads his own work. He reads his own work that he writes. He's a published author, and yeah, and he's got that smooth, twangy kind of deep South, deep Louisiana accent that I like. He's a cool guy. 13, 14, 15. Yes, 13, 14, 15. So this is the recap. And the reason why I'm getting close is because I noticed it's really clear. It really is. Even with my laptop, it's super close. It's super close when I'm up close like this. And then, anyways, I just want to try something different today. I might not be sitting up this close because I'm sitting on the edge of my chair, and it's going to make my hind part start to be sore. Chapter 13 is talking about the continued war with Philistia. That's where the Philistines came from, Philistia. And then we talked about Israel's military disadvantage. And the reason they had a military disadvantage is because they didn't have any weapons. They had no weapons. The Philistines around them said, no, you guys are not allowed to have a blacksmith because chances are you will make swords and weapons with them. And we're not trying to have that. So what did they have? They had plows, they had pickaxes, they had sickles, and they had something called something for the ox, something probably another plow type of thing. But that's what that's what they had to work with. They were actually fighting with their farming tools, which reminds me of some of the martial arts. I can't think of the right ones, but a lot of the martial arts that you see that come out of Asia, a lot of those were developed because the people were not allowed to have weapons, but they wanted to learn how to defend themselves. And so a lot of the farmers actually taught themselves how to fight with like a rake and a hoe and a pickaxe and whatever. And then from there, they developed their other weapons after the fact. But I can't think of which one in specific, but a lot of the martial arts that have like tools and weapons, that actually came from the farmers. So that reminded me of this here in chapter 13. And chapter 14, Jonathan's daring plan. Y'all know who Jonathan is, right? I hate doing that, but it's a lot quicker than me. Blah, 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 blah. So I apologize. For anybody who gets grossed out by that, like me, I hate the sound of it. I apologize. I apologize. Chapter 14, Jonathan's daring plan. Jonathan is Saul's son. Little Saul had little Johnny, and that would be kind of like heartbreaking for me. I mean, I'm a woman speaking out of my emotions. Like if I had to be an Amazon warrior, I just can't imagine my daughter being my Amazon warrior next to me, and and we going off into war like Xena, warrior princess. But that's what was going on here. You know, sons very often fought right next to their fathers, and so here's Saul and here's Jonathan, his son. Now here they are over here in the group, and Jonathan's like, "Hey, you," talking to his assistant, and he's like, "Yes, master. Hey, we're gonna do a sneak attack." Okay, master, whatever you say. And they did a little sneak attack. And they actually did very well. If you were not here yesterday, you can go back to hear the details, but that's what went on in chapter 13. Israel defeats the Philistines. That's pretty much what was going on. Now Saul, Daddy Saul, took a foolish oath. That was from verses 24 on down. He was really, 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 really determined to finish off these Philistines once and for all. And so he was telling his men, we're not going to stop for anything, not even to eat. We're going to fight, 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 go. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to be fighting and hungry. I don't want to be hungry. I don't like being hungry. But I don't want to be fighting and hungry. And the more that you exert energy, the weaker you get. You start to get angry, frustrated. You feel like, you're about to pass out. But he said, I curse anybody who even take a bite of food. You bet not. Well, his son, remember, Jonathan, he snuck ahead. So he wasn't even with the group when his daddy said that. And he found a honeycomb. I think that's funny when people just find random things and start eating them. But he found a honeycomb and he dipped his stick in it, maybe his sword or his what do you call it? Shing shing, the little sheath or his walking stick. He's like, "Ooh, honey, I'm gonna eat some of this honey off the ground." Probably because he's hungry. And it revived him, just that little bit of sweetness revived him. He's like, ah. But then after the fact, somebody said, "Oh yeah, Jonathan, your daddy cursed anybody who eats even one little thing right now." And he's like, "What? Seriously?" So that's what was going on at the end of chapter 14. Saul, let's see. They were doing a little bit more fighting. Saul prayed to God and said, "Give us an answer, Lord. Should we go for it? Should we sit still?" And the Lord didn't answer him. And so Saul came to the conclusion, somebody must have did something wrong. Let's figure it out. And then he went through this whole ritual where he's like, they're casting lots, and whoever the guilty party is, you are cursed. Well, guess what? Him and his son were the guilty party. And between him and his son was the guilty one. He was like, boy. But the rest of the men were like, no, he just won the battle. And they saved his neck. So yeah, that was probably pretty embarrassing for Saul. Like, why would you even say something like that? Why would you make your man go hungry? Why would you make such a strong and irrational curse? Curse anybody who eats even one morsel. Dude, it's not that serious. Anyways, in chapter 15, Saul destroys the Amalekites. Now, he was supposed to completely destroy them, remember? But he destroyed everything except for the best of the best. The fat calves, the cattle, the choice livestock, and King Agag. That was his name, right? Yeah, King Agag. But the Lord said, destroy everything. Don't leave a single thing. And if y'all remember a couple times when the Lord says that in previous chapters, he wants them to be completely wiped out, because whenever they leave behind some remnant of these people, they end up kind of, what did they say? Birds of a feather flock together. And so being around the people and their customs and their traditions and their paganism and all these other ways that the Lord doesn't want them to follow, they end up kind of easing into some of that. And so the Lord said, no, completely wipe them out. He didn't do that. And the Lord rejected Saul. The Lord rejected Saul in chapter 15. Even Saul pleads for forgiveness from the Lord and from Samuel. The only thing Samuel did is he helped him save a little bit of face. He said, okay, I'm going to go back here. I'm going to worship with you, but then you're on your own because you ain't right. Sam executes King Agag. And yes, that is where we left off. We are now in chapter 16. We are now in chapter 16. So that was a recap. That was the recap. First Samuel, give me that. Recap. No doubt. Hello, everyone in the room. Granddaddy to Nicole. Katahdin says, good morning to the people in the room. Thanks for coming. Please smash the like button. Thank you, Miss Moderator. Crafts by the Rose. It's Folgers in your cup. It's rainy here too. Oh, wait. Huh? I'm like totally way back. Somehow it scrolled up and I need to scroll back down. Cafe Bustelo. Okay, that was me. Hints on your last video that you put out. I have no idea what you're talking about. I done been rambling on and on, so I forgot. Hints on your last video that you put out. The one last night. The one. Oh, the languages. Yeah, that should have been out like 4 or 5 days ago. I'm telling you guys, this YouTubing is a full time job. I am editing every day, and I'm actually backlogged. I have two interviews to put out. One is an hour long. One is 2 hours long. I gotta smash them down. I told you guys this already, but I have like 5 or 6 things to edit. It's nonstop, nonstop. Like the movie It Man. What you know about It Man? Yes. Okay, yes. Okay. I'm back on course. Like the movie It Man. Grand Day to You, Crafts by the Rose, and then Crafts Rose. She just put a period in there. She was just like, I don't know what that period means. I used to do that though, not the period. I used to put three in there, like dot dot dot, kind of like I'm thinking, like okay. Sometimes I hadn't done this in a while. Sometimes I would put like just a parentheses there. I would do this in text, not in I would do this in texting, not on a live stream. It was kind of an inside joke between me and that person. I'd just be like, "Oh, it didn't come out right." It's supposed to be a space in between there, and what's in that space? You never know. This is chapter 16, y'all. This is Samuel. Samuel anoints David as king. So, what was that? A day or two ago, Samuel stepped aside and let Saul be the first king. And now, Samuel, who has already taken a back seat, is anointing a new king. And hey, somebody in here yesterday was talking about this. See, y'all do know the Bible. I want to say Mermaid Stars. I think Mermaid Stars told me this. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I apologize, but I think Mermaid Star says, and we're ready for a new king, right? And I looked ahead to the whole next book. I was like, yeah, I think so. No, look at you. Yeah, Samuel anoints David as king. Hannah popped in and said, hi! Girl, you always crack me up. You always crack me up. Hannah's in the house, everybody. Everyone say hello and good morning to Hannah. She's one of my earliest followers as far as the Bible reading. Good old Hannah. I'm gonna try to keep a straight face. I don't know why, but you always make me feel like what do you call it? Butterflies. Butterflies like tickly, like just you made me want to laugh. I don't know why, but you made me want to laugh. You make me smile. That's a good thing. But I just started, and so you're right on time. Samuel anoints David as king. Now the Lord said to Samuel, you have mourned long enough for Saul. Poor Saul. I have rejected him as king of Israel, so fill your flask with olive oil and go to Bethlehem. Find a man named Jesse. I don't know why, but to me, Jesse seems like an old Southern name. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It just seems like I should focus. 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 Jesse. Jesse. Do y'all know anybody named Jesse? And if so, were they from the South? I don't know anybody from up north named Jesse. And I was born and raised in the north. You have mourned long enough for Saul. I have rejected him as king of Israel. So fill your flask with olive oil and go to Bethlehem. Find a man named Jesse who lives there, for I have selected one of his sons to be my king. Échalo, Chuy. Chuy in Spanish is the equivalent of Jesse. Chewy. Yeah, Chewy. But Samuel asked, how can I do that? If Saul hears about that, he will kill me. Take a heifer with you, the Lord replied, and say that you've come to make a sacrifice to the Lord. Invite Jesse to the sacrifice, and I will show you which of his sons to anoint from me. So Samuel did as the Lord instructed. When he arrived at Bethlehem, the elders of the town came trembling to meet him. What's wrong? They asked. Do you come in peace? Yes, Samuel replied. I've come to sacrifice to the Lord. Purify yourselves and come with me to the sacrifice. Then Samuel performed the purification rite for Jesse and his sons and invited them to the sacrifice too. When they arrived, Samuel took one look at Eliab, who's Eliab, and thought, surely this is the Lord's anointed. But the Lord said to Samuel, Don't judge by his appearance or height, for I have rejected him. The Lord doesn't see things the way you see them. People judge by outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. That's verse 7. Then Jesse told his son Abinadab to step forward and walk in front of Samuel. But Samuel said, "This is not the one the Lord has chosen." Next, Jesse summoned Shemiah. But Samuel said, "Neither is this the one the Lord has chosen." In the same way, all 7 of Jesse's sons were presented to Samuel. But Samuel said to Jesse, "The Lord has not chosen any of these." Then Samuel asked, "Are these all the sons you have?" "They're still the youngest," Jesse replied, "but he's out in the fields, watching the sheep and goats." "Send for him at once," Samuel said. "We will not sit down to eat until he arrives." So Jesse sent for him. He was dark and handsome with beautiful eyes. That's what I'm talking about. Dark and lovely. Stop, Kenya, stop. So as David stood there among his brothers, hold on, let me go on back up because I didn't skip the part. Sent for him at once. That's verse 11. And verse 12 says, so Jesse sent for him. He was dark and handsome with beautiful eyes. And of course, dark because he's out in the sun. He's a field worker. So he's getting all that melanin popping out of his skin because he's working out in the sun all the time. And so David stood there among, and the Lord said, "This is the one, anoint him." Get to the part, can you? And the Lord said, "This is the one, anoint him." So as David stood there among his brothers, Samuel took the flask of olive oil he had brought and anointed David with the oil. Bloop. And the Spirit of the Lord came powerfully upon David from that day on. Then Samuel returned to Ramah. In verse 14, David serves in Saul's court. Awkward. Now the Spirit of the Lord had left Saul, and the Lord sent a tormenting spirit that filled him with depression and fear. Oh no. Some of Saul's servants said to him, "A tormenting spirit from God is troubling you. Let us find a good musician to play the harp. Whenever the tormenting spirit troubles you, he will play soothing music, and you will soon be well again." "All right," Saul said, "find me someone who plays well and bring him here." One of the servants said to Saul, "One of Jesse's sons from Bethlehem is a talented harp player. Not only that, he's a brave warrior, a man of war, and has good judgment. He is also a fine-looking young man, and the Lord is with him." So Saul sent messengers to Jesse to say, "Send me your son David, the shepherd." Jesse responded by sending David to Saul, along with a young goat, a donkey loaded with bread, and a wineskin full of wine. So David went to Saul and began serving him. Saul loved David very much, and David became his armor bearer. Then Saul sent word to Jesse, asking, "Please let David remain in my service, for I am very pleased with him." And whenever the tormenting spirit from God troubled Saul, David would play the harp. Then Saul would feel better, and the tormenting spirit would go away. That sounds nice, doesn't it? Oh, little old David. Now, if this is the same David and Goliath, I think it's interesting that sometimes people paint his picture, well, like in Bible stories, they paint him as this like weak little boy. Chances are he had, he had a little muscle on him. He had a little fitness to him because if he's out in the fields with these sheep, he's probably got to fight off wild animals and maybe even people that want to come and steal these sheep. So he got to have a little, gotta have a little muscle to him. And plus, y'all remember that? Boom, baby. So he was a talented, like it says here, he was a talented musician as well as a brave warrior. He calls David a brave warrior. Verse 18, he had to be. You can't have this, can't be a scaredy cat out in the field protecting all these sheep. You gotta have some gonads. Let's see. Now that I'm between chapters. Oh, yes, thanks. That was Destiny Kenya that said she thought King David is about to show up. Oh, that was you. That was you. I don't know. Well, I remember reading it, but I don't always look at the names. I just look at the thing. So, good for you. I didn't know that. You already do. Hello, Hannah. Hi. Chewy. Just so you know, it is a different spelling Different spelling, if it makes a difference to you. Jesse and Chewy. What is your favorite part of the chat so far? Do you have any questions? No, Nightbot, I don't have any questions. My favorite part is the part that Saul and David are getting along and they're starting off well. I know that's not gonna last, but that's my favorite part so far. So thanks for asking, Nightbot. I appreciate that. Hannah says, "Hi, Nightbot. Hi, Nightbot. Oh yeah, like holy oil." Yes, I believe so. I believe this is the first holy oil. Yes, you hit the nail on the proverbial head. I love olive oil. I gotta have the extra virgin light version because it's like ooh that the real good stuff, the stuff that's supposed to be good for you. It has such a heavy taste, but they weren't eating it. They were pouring it on their head. They were giving themselves a nice treatment. Speaking of treatment, I got about June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I got about 7 more months, and then the big reveal. I think I'm gonna end my vow of covering probably by the end of the year. If you want to know more about that, y'all can let me know. I'm thinking about writing a book of why I cover my hair this year. It does have a spiritual significance, uh, and I'll just leave it at that. But I'm taking a spiritual walk this year, and I'm just covering my head, and so yeah. But yeah, in the meantime, I'm using that oil treatments. Shoot, I'm trying to anoint my scalp. Lord bless me with some hair so I could be like, I want my hair back and forth. I want my hair back and forth. I'm gonna come on here. I'm not gonna know how to act. But I need to stay focused. I need to stay focused. Focus, Kenya, focus. Crafts by the Rose left another dot. I wonder what's going on in your mind right now. I really want to know. Let's see. Little David might have been muscular and small, but he had to face a huge giant that was about 9 to 12 feet tall, and Goliath was powerful. But David's last move stone took him out. Pow! Yes. I showed you guys like a month or two ago some of those giants. I don't think I've got them on here anymore. I think I deleted them. But there was like a little chart of a human guy. And I say human because these giants were not completely human. They were products of a human and the fallen angels. They were the Nephilim, and so they were not. They looked human, so to speak. They had head, arms, hands, legs, whatever, but they were not. They were not human. Not everything that looks human is human. And so there was a little chart. If I can bring it up, I will. I'll bring it up when we get to the fight scene. Not the fight scene, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was something. That was something. That reminds me, like, I'm trying not to get off into a story time so soon, but that reminds me in 5th grade, I've only fought one time in my life. Yeah, I'm a level, not a fighter. But I only fought one time in my life. I was back in elementary school, and I won't say her last name, but her first name is DeQuindra. If you're here, DeQuindra, hi, I forgive you. We were kids. We were kids. We were in 5th grade, and for some reason, she was my arch enemy. She could not stand me. I don't know why. Second, third, fourth, 5th grade, because we all in elementary school together, and she was like maybe the same size as me, if not a little smaller. I was terrified of that girl. I was terrified of that girl, not because she was big, not because of her physical size. Her spirit was huge, and she was just wow. She had a very powerful spirit. I didn't know nothing about spirits at that time, but I knew she was a tough girl, and I knew she would knock me out if she had the chance. And we got into one brawl on the way out the door because she just used to do different stuff like just little stuff. And one day, shoot, the David and me came out. The David and me came out. We were pulling hair, scratching, da 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 da. And yeah, why did I tell that story? Hocus pocus focus. Thank you, thank you. I do need to focus. Yeah, I need to focus. Yeah, I need to focus. But yeah, that was reminding me of little old David, and yeah, focus. Thank you, Hannah. Hannah, I need you. I need you to keep me on the straight and narrow. I use that on my hair sometimes. Was that olive oil? They say olive oil is really good for the body. Really, really good out of all the oils. that's a really good one for us. And I don't know. I don't know what's the I don't know what's the significance behind that, if it's symbolic or what. But Hannah says to focus, and so I'm focusing. Chapter 17. Chapter 17. Okay, so Saul is going through all these tormenting spirits because the actual Holy Spirit, the Spirit of the Lord, has departed from him because of his disobedience. So now Goliath challenges the Israelites. Goliath. I said I was going to get a picture, didn't I? I know I can pick one really, really quick. Really, really quick, because I already know what I'm looking for. Because I downloaded it before. Nephilim Chart. That would be Nephilim chart. I could have just put in Goliath, but I wanted to put in Nephilim chart. Oh, these are all bones. I don't want bones. Do a quick screen share. Hey, I didn't do a screen share of my other stuff. Today. So here's a screen share of like typical man, since we are about to read about Goliath. Hopefully this is clear enough for you. Sometimes these images are not as clear as I would like them to be, and I'm not really sure why. Whoop. Okay. Can y'all see that? Yes, we can see that. We're on the same page. So this first one here on the left, that's an ordinary person. It says here the ancient Jew, ordinary ancient Jew guy, about 5'3". Hey, that's how tall I am. And then we have Goliath, which is right here, about 6'8". But the giants did not stop there. You see that? We got somebody here. What does it say? King Goliath. Well, why does it say Goliath twice? I'm going to click on this and see if it gets a little more clear. Oh, man, it's going to send me to Pinterest. Oh, man. Sometimes Pinterest doesn't really give you exactly what you're trying to get to. It just kind of sends you down a rabbit hole, so I'm not going to go there. But anyways, hopefully you can still get the idea of what's going on. So it says ordinary ancient Jew right here. Then it has Goliath. And Goliath, LXX, Josephus, don't know what that means. Oh, okay, so different text. Different biblical text, it looks like, has maybe different measuring standards. So this one says Goliath. Is this from the Septuagint? Maybe that's what that's from the Septuagint. And the Septuagint is a holy scripture that a lot of the Bible is based off of. So this is 6'8". However, in the Masoretic text, it says that Goliath was about this big. So 9'7". And then King Og, we read about King Og back in, was it Deuteronomy? Was it Deuteronomy? I think so. King Og of Bashan was about 11 feet tall. So here's your average person here. And at the very least, this is who David had to fight. And at the very most, this is who David had to fight. Again, he wasn't a human. He was the product of, fallen angels having sex with mortal women. And that wasn't supposed to happen. So now that we've got that up there, like so. See if I can save it really quick. So now that we've got that up there like so, let me jump on into chapter 7. Did I come back? Yes, I came back. I can't always see the screen when I do that thing, so that's why I never know. This is chapter 17, talking about Goliath challenges the Israelites. The Philistines now mustered their army for battle and camped between Soko in Judah and Azekah at Ephes Damin. Saul countered by gathering his Israelite troops near the valley of Elah. So the Philistines and Israelites faced each other on opposite hills with the valley between them. Then, this is verse 4, Goliath, a Philistine champion from Gath, came out of the Philistine ranks to face the forces of Israel. He was over 9 feet tall. Can you imagine? Here I am, I'm little old David, facing DeQuindra. She's a lovely person now, but back then, woo, She was a firecracker. So here I am. I'm David, y'all. Here comes David. Boom, 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 boom. Ha ha ha! What is this? Who is this? You send a mere boy to fight me? Ha ha! You see that? I'm here, little old David. Little old David's like, meep. Well, he probably wasn't like meep. I would have been like meep. I would have been like meep. But David didn't do that. So in verse 4, Goliath, a Philistine champion from Gath, came out of the Philistine ranks to face the forces of Israel. He was over 9 feet tall. He wore a bronze helmet and his bronze coat of mail that weighed 125 pounds. Dang! So just his armor, you know, the little chainmail stuff that they would put on so that the swords wouldn't pierce their skin, the chainmail itself was 125 pounds. Holy cow. He also wore bronze leg armor and he carried a bronze javelin on his shoulder. The shaft of his spear was as heavy and thick as a weaver's beam. Weaver's beam. Interesting. It's interesting because I actually uploaded a video yesterday and I was talking about culture and language, and there's a lady weaving in that picture. So if y'all get a chance, or if y'all remember, check out that video that I put out either last night or early this morning, and it's a lady sitting down. It's somewhere in the first third of it. She's sitting down weaving stuff, and it's a big wooden beam that she has to put her foot on to control the loom. That's interesting. I just think that's interesting that I just uploaded that. But the shaft of his spear was as heavy and as thick as a weaver's beam, tipped with an iron spearhead that weighed 15 pounds. His armor bearer walked ahead of him carrying a shield. Wow. So he didn't even carry his own shield? Goliath, this is verse 8, Goliath stood and shouted a taunt across the Israelites. Ha ha! Why are you all coming out to fight? He called. I am the Philistine champion, but you are only the servants of Saul. Choose one man to come down here and fight me. If he kills me, then we will be your slaves. But if I kill him, you will be our slaves. I defy the armies of Israel today. Send me a man who will fight me. When Saul and the Israelites heard this, they were terrified and deeply shaken. I would be too. But here goes somebody once again opening their mouth and saying something they shouldn't have, right? It's the third time, at least the third or fourth time that somebody their mouth wrote a check that their behind could not cash. So we already know what's going to happen, but let's jump into it anyways. This is verses 12. Jesse sends David to Saul's camp. Now David was the son of a man named Jesse, an Ephrathite, oh, like the Euphrates, Ephraim. Oh no, Ephraim, the tribe of Ephraim, Ephrathite. Okay. Now David was the son of a man named Jesse, an Ephrathite from Bethlehem in the land of Judah. Jesse was an old man at the time, and he had 8 sons. Jesse's 3 oldest sons, Eliab, Aminadab, and Shemiah, had already joined Saul's army to fight the Philistines. That's the second or third time I've seen a star by the name Shemiah. What is going on with Shemiah? Okay, in Hebrew, Shammah is a variant spelling of Shemiah. I didn't read that before. Shammah or Shemiah. So I don't know, maybe your Bible would read Shammah. But this one says Shemiah. Okay, so Shemiah had already joined Saul's army to fight the Philistines. David was the youngest son. David's 3 oldest brothers stayed with Saul's army, but David went back and forth so he could help his father with the sheep in Bethlehem. Oh, what a hardworking young man. Oh, well. For 40 days. Just saying. For 40 days, every morning and evening, the Philistine champion strutted in front of the Israelite army. I am Goliath, the Philistine giant. If anybody needs any voice work done, you can check me out at kenyasvoice.com. One day, Jesse said to David, Take this basket of roasted grain and these 10 loaves of bread and carry them quickly to your brothers. And give these 10 cuts of cheese. They ate cheese back then? Cheese sounds so good right now. Give these 10 cuts of cheese to their captain. See how your brothers are getting along and bring back a report on how they're doing. David's brothers were with Saul and the Israelite army at the valley of Elah fighting against the Philistines. Now we're in verse 20. So David left the sheep with another shepherd and set out early the next morning with the gifts, as Jesse had directed him. What a good boy he is. I need to be reading this with my daughter. The importance of obedience and everybody pulling together in the household. I love you. He arrived at the camp just as the Israelite army was leaving for the battlefield with shouts and battle cries. Soon the Israelite and Philistine forces stood facing each other, army against army. David left his things with the keeper of the supplies and hurried out to the ranks to greet his brothers. As he was talking with them, Goliath, the Philistine champion from Gath, came out from the Philistine ranks. Then David heard him shout his usual taunt to the army of Israel. As soon as the Israelite army saw him, they began to run away in fright. Have you ever seen the giant? The men asked. He comes out each day to defy Israel. The king has offered a huge reward to anyone who kills him. He will give that man one of his daughters for a wife, and the man's entire army family will be exempted from paying taxes. David asked the soldiers standing nearby, what will a man get for killing this Philistine and ending his defiance of Israel? Who is the pagan Philistine anyway, that he's allowed to defy the armies of the living God? And these men gave David the same reply. They said, yes, that is the reward for killing him. But when David's oldest brother Eliab heard David talking to them, he was angry. What are you doing around here anyway? He demanded. What about those few sheep you're supposed to be taking care of? I know about your pride and deceit. You just want to see the battle. What have I done now? David replied. I was only asking a question. He walked over to some of the others and asked them the same thing and received the same answer. Then David's question was reported to King Saul, and the king sent for him. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, this is verse 32. David kills the Goliath. David kills Goliath. And David killed Goliath. David kills Goliath. I just want to give y'all a quick visual that I'm going to put up on the screen. Better than the one that I was using. I was about to say something so inappropriate. Not really, but sort of, kind of. Anybody watch that movie, Pootie Tang? It's definitely not a rated G movie. It's not bad, but still. The guy, grown man walking around whipping folks with a belt. When they acted up, he took that belt off and put it back on. It's like from the 90s. It's, like I said, it's not real. It's not biblical right now, but just the fact that me making that sound reminded me of Pootie Tang, okay? I don't know why. But that's how my brain works. I love my brain. I'm seeing a lot of images of David already having slain him. I'm trying to get one where you can see the proportion of the two. Ooh, that one's pretty graphic. Maybe I should use that one. Oh, ooh. Some of these are so graphic. I'm going to just use a basic one. Even VeggieTales did it. What? We ain't getting no VeggieTales on here. That's a basic one. I'll zoom in here. Y'all know, most of you guys already know the story, but I just wanted to put a visual up. So here is the screen share while I read on with chapter, we're still in chapter 18. And I'm going to read No, we're not. We're in chapter 17. Still in chapter 17 on verse 32. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Okay. Don't worry about this Philistine, David told Saul. I'll go fight him. Don't be ridiculous, Saul replied. There's no way you can fight this Philistine and possibly win. You're only a boy, and he's been a man of war since his youth. But David persisted. I've been taking care of my father's sheep and goats, he said. When a lion or a bear comes to steal a lamb from the flock, I go after it with a club and rescue the lamb from its mouth. If the animal turns on me, I catch it by the jaw and club it to death. I've done this to both lions and bears, and I'll do it to this pagan Philistine too. For he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord who rescued me from the claws of the lion and bear will rescue me from this Philistine. Saul finally consented. Shh. All right, go ahead, he said, and may the Lord be with you. Then Saul gave David his own armor, a bronze helmet, and a coat of mail. And this is, chainmail. David put it on, strapped the sword over it, and took a step or two to see what it was like, for he had never worn such things before. I can't go out in these, he protested to Saul. I'm not used to them. So David took them off again. He picked up 5 smooth stones from a stream and put them into his shepherd's bag. Then, armed only with his shepherd's staff and sling, he started across the valley to fight the Philistine. Goliath walked out toward David with his shield bearer ahead of him, sneering in contempt at this ruddy-faced boy. And of course, ruddy-faced again. He's been out in the sun all the time because he's a shepherd. So he's dark-skinned. He's probably flushed, and he just has a different skin tone because he's been out, an outside person. Am I a dog, he roared at David, that you come at me with a stick? And he cursed David by the names of his gods. Come over here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and wild animals, Goliath yelled. David replied to the Philistine, You come to me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Today the Lord will conquer you, and I will kill you and cut off your head. And then I will give the dead bodies of your men to the birds and the wild animals, and the whole world will know that there is a God in Israel. And everyone assembled here will know that the Lord rescues his people, but not with sword and spear. This is the Lord's battle, and he will give you to us. Verse 48, as Goliath moved closer to attack, David quickly ran out to meet him. Reaching into his shepherd's bag and taking out a stone, he hurled it with his sling and hit the Philistine in the forehead. The stone sank in, and Goliath stumbled and fell face down to the ground. So David triumphed over the Philistine with only a sling and a stone, for he had no sword. Then David ran over and pulled Goliath's sword from its sheath. David used it to kill him and cut off his head. And there was a really good visual. I did see at least one good picture. There we go. That's a nice one. So there we go. There's David and Goliath. And it's pretty gross, but it's one of the nicer pictures. It's one of the nicer, less gruesome pictures. Israel routs the Philistines. When the Philistines saw that their champion was dead, they turned and ran. Then the men of Israel and Judah gave a great shout of triumph and rushed after the Philistines, chasing them as far as Gath and the gates of Ekron. The bodies of the dead and wounded Philistines were strewn all along the road from Sharaim as far as Gath and Ekron. Then the Israelite army returned and plundered the deserted Philistine camp. David took the Philistine's head to Jerusalem, but he stored the man's armor in his own tent. As Saul watched David go out to fight the Philistine, he asked Abner, the commander of his army, Abner, whose son is this young man? I really don't know, Abner declared. We'll find out who he is, the king told him. As soon as David returned from killing Goliath, Abner brought him to Saul with the Philistine's head still in his hand. Tell me about your father, young man, Saul said. And David replied, His name is Jesse, and we live in Bethlehem. Boom, boom, boom! And that is a preview of other great things to come from Bethlehem. 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 Ricket. Yep. All right, let me get back to you guys because I haven't seen you in so long. Literally, I haven't seen you because whenever I put a picture up there for you guys, you're blocked. You're completely blocked. I can't see you. Let's see. That was your attention getter for today, Hannah said. That was the last thing she said before I started reading. Gotta leave. Have a blessed day. See you, Miss Robin. Thank you for stopping by. Hannah says, you too? Yeah. Trees were like bushes back then. Jack and the Beanstalk big. Proud of you. Kenya. Hey, Beyond the Game. The coolest gamer out here on the YouTube streets. For real though. For real though. How you doing today? That's Nightbot talking about what's your favorite part of the chat so far? Do you have any questions? Yeah, I actually do have a question. Was David really that brave, or was he putting on the front? Because sometimes they say fake it till you make it. But I think if I really think about it, I think David was that brave. They don't really go into details about how much faith he had and if he was a very spiritual person. They just say that but I guess you can read between the lines. He's talking about this is the Lord's army. How dare you defy the name of the Lord? The Lord has his battle. So I guess from that context, we can see he was a faithful person, but still going out and seeing Goliath. Then again, the boy has just been fighting lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. And what did he say? When one of these lions take off with one of my sheep, I grab him by the mouth and I beat him on the head. Oh, David was a little tough one. He was a little rough one. A little roughneck. Roughneck. You're too funny. That's what Nicole said. That's not me. She's laughing out loud. We love your brain too. I love my brain. Sometimes it takes me a while to rein it in, but when I do, it's okay. Nicole is like, yeah. That's the little googly eyes with the dizziness. So violent. I know, such violence. These were violent times. Remember, we just read about what's his name? King Agag? No. Was it Agag? Yeah. King Agag plucking folks' eyes out. Now that's just nasty. But we know that was a military tactic. I already talked about that. Violence. This was before the Wild West. Now, I should know because I'm a Fort Worth resident, not a native, but a Fort Worth resident. This was before the Wild West. It was some raw times. Natural Way Achoti. Blessings 40 entrepreneur. Hey! Welcome back. How you doing? How you feeling today? Everybody, stop right now and say hello to Natural Way Achoti. I don't think you were like actually new because I think you left me a message. I think you left me a comment, but I think this is the first time you in here. Is this your first or second time in here? Well, I got extra stars sitting around, so I guess I can give you an extra one. Normally, this is only for the new people, but you're new to me. Yeah, I think you left a comment on a couple things. But have you been in here? It doesn't matter. Like I said, I got plenty to go around. That's the kind of life I'm trying to live. You know what I'm saying? I want to live a life of abundance. I want to have so much money. Yeah, I know we talk about money real quick, right? I want to have so much money that I'll just be like, no. Don't worry about giving it back. Just take it. Oh, here you go over here. I just want to be tipping people left and right, blessing people left and right. Giving. I just want to give because I got so much. I have so much I can't even use it. That's what I'm trying. That's the kind of life I'm trying to lead. I want a life of prosperity and abundance, not just for myself, but so that my family can be okay and everybody around me too. So I ain't got it like that right now in my pockets, but I got a whole bunch of stars. I got a whole bunch of gold stars. So since I got some extra ones, that's for you, Natural Way. Natural Way. Achoti. Is it Achoti or Achoti? I think it's Achoti, right? Yes, that is for you. That is for you. All right, let me go back. Blessings. I can't stay long because I'm about to record my video, but I love the word. That's what I'm talking about. The word. It's pouring rain here in Michigan. David had a heart after the Lord's own heart. Pouring rain here too. My first in your live. Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, I thought I remember seeing you in one of the comments. Nicole says hello to Natural Way. I left a comment on your video. Yes, that's what I thought. Natural Way is like, hey, y'all. She's a very busy woman. She's about to go record. And I appreciate the stars. It's a coat tree. Oh, Akoti. Akoti. I got you. Akoti. Natural way Akoti's in the house. Akoti, 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 Akoti. Okay, it's burned into, I just made a new neural pathway for it. Now that we're caught up, we're in chapter 18. This is the final chapter for today. So we should all be happy, right? Yay! David has slain Goliath with all his bravado. Yeah, see where that bravado got you. Laid out and headless. Like Ichabod. Not the Ichabod from the Bible, but the other Ichabod from the Canterbury Tales. Anyways, now let's see how Saul feels about this. Oh, it says Saul becomes jealous of David, chapter 18. Shall we? All right. So after David had finished talking with Saul, because he was like, "Hey, boy, who your daddy? Who your people? Why you do that?" He says, "My daddy is Jesse, and we come from Bethlehem." Chapter 18, Saul becomes jealous of David. After David had finished talking with Saul, he met Jonathan, who was the king's son. There was an immediate bond between them, for Jonathan loved David. Oh, that's so nice. From that day on, Saul kept David with him and wouldn't let him return home. And Jonathan made a solemn pact with David because he loved him as he loved himself. Jonathan sealed the pact by taking off his robe and giving it to David, together with his tunic, sword, bow, and belt. I thought they were going to be blood brothers. Y'all ever, I won't, don't let me know if y'all did that because I don't know, that might make me feel a little squeamish. But you know, sometimes when little kids are like really, really close, this is back in the day before a lot of craziness went on where it was like, ew, blood, spit, yeah. But back in the day, a lot of times people would like cut their thumb or something, do a little mark, and we're blood brothers or we're blood sisters because they loved each other so much. They wanted to be like family, and they were like, "You're blood brothers, blood sisters." But they didn't do that. It says that Jonathan gave off his robe, royal robe, because remember his dad is the king, so he's like a prince. He gave Jonathan gave him his robe and his tunic. Man, the shirt off his back, literally. His sword, his bow, and his belt. Aww. Verse 5 says, whatever Saul asked David to do, David did it successfully. So Saul made him a commander over the men of war, an appointment that was welcomed by the people and Saul's officers alike. When the victorious Israelite army was returning home after David had killed the Philistine, women from all over the towns of Israel came out to meet King Saul. They sang and danced of joy and tambourines and cymbals. This was their Saul. Saul has killed his thousands, and David his 10,000s. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah, I killed 1,000, and he killed 10,000, and they letting everybody know about it. This made Saul very angry. This is verse 8. This made Saul very angry. What's this? He said. They credit David with 10,000 and me with only thousands. Next, they'll be making him their king. So from that time on, Saul kept a jealous eye on David. The very next day, a tormenting spirit from God overwhelmed Saul, and he began to rave in his house like a madman. David was playing the harp as he did each day, but Saul had a spear in his hand. That don't sound good. And he suddenly hurled it at David, intending to pin him to the wall, but David escaped him twice. Come on now. Come on now. Don't snap on me like that. Oh man. Saul was then afraid of David, for the Lord was with David and then turned away from Saul. That's interesting. That's really interesting. I'm reading verse 12. Saul, the used to be first king, has just hurled a spear at David. But he's afraid of David. If I was David, I'd be afraid of him. I'm in your house. You're the kind of about to be ex-king, but I'm in your house. You have the power. You know, I'm under your influence. I'm under your, submitting to you. And man, this is a dangerous situation. Saul was then afraid of David, for the Lord was with David and turned away from Saul. So that's why he was afraid. And finally, Saul sent him away and appointed him commander over 1,000 men, and David faithfully led his troops into battle. David continued to succeed in everything he did, for the Lord was with him. When Saul recognized this, he became even more afraid of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David because he was so successful at leading his troops into battle. In verse 17, David marries Saul's daughter. So he really is becoming part of the family. He's become almost like blood brothers with Jonathan. Saul has pretty much adopted him before he started tripping and throwing spears at him. He's been basically adopted by Saul. Him and Jonathan are super close. And now he is marrying one of Saul's daughters. So that's going to be his father-in-law and Jonathan's brother-in-law. So this is verse 17. One day Saul said to David, I'm ready to give you my older daughter, Merab, as your wife. But first you must prove yourself to be a real warrior by fighting the Lord's battles. Bruh. For Saul thought, I'll send him out against the Philistines and let them kill him rather than doing it myself. Verse 18, Who am I? And what is my family in Israel that I should be the king's son-in-law? David exclaimed, My father's family is nothing. So when the time came for Saul to give his daughter Merab in marriage to David, he gave her instead Adriel, a man from Meholah. In the meantime, Saul's daughter Michal had fallen in love with David, and Saul was delighted when he heard about it. Here's another chance to see him killed by the Philistines, Saul said to him. But to David he said, Today you have a second chance to become my son-in-law. Then Saul told his men to say to David, The king really likes you, and so do we. Why don't you accept the king's offer and become his son-in-law? When Saul's men said these things to David, he replied, How can a poor man from a humble family afford the bride price for the daughter of a king? When Saul's men reported this back to the king, he told them, Tell David that all I want for the bride's price is 100 Philistine foreskins. Vengeance on my enemies is all I really want. But what Saul had in mind was that David would be killed in the fight. David was delighted to accept the offer before the time limit expired. That's not too bad. He's like, I ain't got no money, but I'm a pretty good fighter out on that battlefield. So yeah, 100 people? Okay, I can do that. Verse 26, David was delighted to accept the offer. Before the time limit expired, he and his men went out and killed 200 Philistines. Woohoo! Not just 100, but 200. Then David fulfilled the king's requirement by presenting all the foreskins to him. So Saul gave his daughter Michal to David to be his wife. I know this is probably the right appropriate thing to say, but that's kind of nasty. Because we know what foreskins are. That's nasty. Like, did they have to touch them? They didn't wear gloves back then. I mean, hopefully he washed his hands. But yeah, that's my mind again. That's nasty. Like, the head part was nasty, but you got to dig and lift up and. Verse 28, when Saul realized that the Lord was with David and how much his daughter Michal loved him, Saul became even more afraid of him, and he remained David's enemy for the rest of his life. Every time the commanders of the Philistines attacked, David was more successful against them than all the rest of Saul's officers, so David's name became very famous. Yes. David is a pretty talented person. He is obedient to his parents, obviously. He's a good child. He was a faithful brother. You know, he was going out to the shepherding and going to help his brothers. And let's see, he was a good, strong fighter. He had faith. You know, he said, if the Lord can help me against these lions, surely he can help me with this giant. He could play the harp. I do know that David danced, so he was like multi-talented. And what else? I just think he's a charismatic person, not like overly charismatic, like haha, like me, everybody just like me. It just seems like people naturally gravitated toward him. So yes, David has it going on. Hey y'all, I'm done. I'm done for the day. That was it. That was 16, 17, and 18. Aw. I wanted to read some more. I knew a lot of Davids growing up, and I never knew the significance of that. But yeah, that's it. That is it for today's reading. Only thing left to do now is to check in with y'all one more time. I appreciate the stars. It's a Coty. Yes. I will keep you playing while I record my video. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Let's see. I wonder if they have anything in here on Goliath. Like just a little bit more background information. Pretty sure they do. And that is where I'm going to end it off because I do not have any commentary for this particular. Whoop, here goes my coffee cup. I do not have a particular commentary, and so I'm just going to give a little bit more background information on Goliath. Goliath. And then we're going to head on out of here. Oh, that's pretty gross looking. Oh, wow. They did a zombies version of David and Goliath. That's interesting. That's really, yeah. Ooh, these are right next to each other. That's a good one. I'm gonna do a screen share while I read this dictionary on Goliath. And yeah. So this is Goliath from my Nelson's Compact Series Bible Dictionary. Can you guys see that? Yes, you can see that. Goliath. Goliath. A Philistine giant whom David felled with a stone from his sling. Goliath, who lived in the Philistine city of Gath, was probably a descendant of a tribe of giants known as the Anakim, or descendants of Anak. These giants probably served in a capacity similar to that of a foreign mercenary or soldier of fortune. Based on the figures in the Bible, talking about 1 Samuel 17:4, Goliath was over 9 feet tall. The magnificence of Goliath's armor and weapons, his bronze coat of mail, bronze greaves, bronze javelin, spear with an iron spearhead, and huge sword must have made him appear invincible. For 40 days, this enormous man challenged Saul's armies to find one man willing to engage in hand-to-hand combat. The winner of that one battle, would determine the outcome of the war. The young David, chosen by God as Israel's next king, accepted the challenge, felling Goliath with a single stone to the forehead from his sling. When David beheaded the fallen giant, the Philistines fled in panic. And I'm going to look for Anak real quick because I think I've read that before about the Anakim. Yes. This is the second and last part. The Anakim. Anakim. The Anakim. The Anakim is a race of fierce giants. We first learned about them in Deuteronomy 1 and 28, and also in Joshua 14 and 12. A race of fierce giants descended from Anak. So gigantic were they that the spies sent out by Moses considered themselves as mere grasshoppers compared to the Anakim. Under Joshua, however, the Israelites destroyed many of the Anakim. A remnant of these giants took refuge among the Philistines. And so that was just a little bit of extra reading from my part, from my Nelson's Compact Dictionary. Yeah, these were some big folks. It is roll call time. Roll call, roll call. Roll that beautiful bean footage. That's me at the top. Shout out to 40 Entrepreneur Drive, aka Kenya, aka 40. They call me 40 in the streets, the YouTube streets. So shout out to me. because my name's right there. Shout out to Eva Frazier. Shout out to Nicole. Shout out to Destiny Forever Walks. Shout out to Erica Bernay Vlogs. Shout out to Chan Chan Fu Wignon. I'm gonna get it right one day. Shout out to Crafts by the Rose. Shout out to Katatin Cooking Mama's Homestead. Shout out to Hannah Gatledge. Shout out to the fact that I have to scroll makes me happy because it means you guys were super active in the chat, which is always good for the live stream. It helps it stay healthy. Shout out to Natural Way Akoti and shout out to the whole chat and shout out to everybody listening to this on the replay. On the ricket replay. This is what we do every single day. I read the Bible. It's a Bible party. Rejoice. Somebody says rejoice. Enjoyed seeing you tomorrow. Oh no, I enjoyed seeing you tomorrow. And yes, and we got some praise hands. So this is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. I'm drinking my coffee too fast. Yes, I will rejoice. Pray time. More coffee burps. Good thing you guys aren't here to smell that. I was talking about Scully earlier too. How he's extra close in the camera. So close that you can smell the coffee on his breath. And I'm burping coffee. Pray time. Dear Lord, thank you for today. Thank you for this beautiful new fresh start. Thank you for the fresh start for the week. And actually, Lord, every time we open up our eyes after laying down to sleep and waking up, we get another fresh start. Yes, another fresh start to live our best lives. I thank you for this time. I thank you for the freedom of my home to read my Bible without being persecuted. I thank you for the comfort and safety of my home. I thank you for the technology that I can reach out to people in different places, in different time zones, but we're still here at the same time. That's so cool. My prayer, Lord, today is that everyone's needs be met and that everyone is encouraged to familiarize themselves with the word on their own time so they can know what their purpose is in this world, and they can build a relationship with you and live their best life and understand who they are in you. That is my prayer today, Lord. Amen. Yes, that was the Prayer Express. Prayer Express. Speaking of Express, I wonder what Alex Express is doing. I watched one of his videos yesterday. I have so many friends. You guys have no idea. I have so many people to keep up with. Like it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's not possible to watch everybody, but I try to watch as many people as possible because they're my YouTube friends, and all my friends are on YouTube, and you can be too. Subscribe. That's my other song. All my friends are on YouTube, and you can be too. Subscribe. Are you subscribed? You should. Why? Well, I'll tell you. Because if you subscribe, you will be alerted every time I put out a new video. You'll be alerted whenever I go live. And you'll get to see some of my community posts that I've been putting up. And if you want to, you can also come and say hello at the Facebook fan page. That's My 40 Fam. If you go to Facebook and you type in My 40 Fam, matter of fact, the link is right there. If you type in My 40 Fam in Facebook, you can come over there and say hi, like the page. I do put other stuff over there from time to time, and stuff that I don't put here. And then also the giveaway. If you are interested in participating in the giveaway, or you know somebody who is interested in getting some free stuff, let them know that all they have to do is subscribe, share me out, take a screenshot, leave it there at the Facebook thing. So that's where I will be checking everything. And when I get to 1,500 subscribers, I'm going to give away a free t-shirt. Not one of these, but one of my other ones. The one that says it has like a little logo on the front. And then when I get to 2,000 subscribers, I will be giving away one of any 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's like five or six items from my Target haul, and you can watch the video on that. So when I get to 2,000 subscribers, I will let one lucky person pick out one of those free items, and that's that. But you have to participate by subscribing publicly, sharing me out, showing me proof that you shared me out with a screenshot, and leaving it at the Facebook fan page. So yeah, and then you got to leave a comment like, "Yeah, I want to participate." That's how that goes. So yeah, on that note, I have read the word. I have said hello to my people. I have did my prayer. I have did my roll call, and I even did a little self promotion on the Facebook fan page and let you guys know about the giveaway. Other than that, you guys, hey, you guys, it's time to go. Thank you, Kenya, for this great time here with you, and thank you to the entire room. I heart you all. Have a great day. Amen. And so be it. So be it. I YouTube love all of you. I really do. Have a great Monday.
Entrepreneur Drive 40, Entrepreneur Drive. Entrepreneur Drive 40, Entrepreneur Drive. Entrepreneur Drive 40, Entrepreneur Drive. Thanks for watching, share, like, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. See you at the next Bible reading party, 7 a.m. Central Standard Time.